Hey, what's up? It's Elizabeth, the Minister of Beauty, and I share the Bible. That's business inspiration, beauty, life, and enjoyment. And it is December the 30th. Yesterday was the 29th. Today is the 30th. I did not do a vlog yesterday. I honestly wasn't feeling the best, and the weather here was pretty bad. So I just honestly, it just wasn't even on my mind to do it, but it is December 30th, the 30th day of Vlogmas, and it is the day before New Year's Eve. I just want to do a quick vlog, trying to keep up this Vlogmas thing, even though I didn't do it every day this month. Who cares, right? Life happens, and I'm a testament of that, that life can happen, but it doesn't mean that you can't still keep moving forward. So, with all of that being said, um, just real quick, uh, Jimmy Carter, former president of the United States, served one term. He passed away at the age of 100. He was in a hospice for quite some time, and you don't normally hear people being in hospice care lasting very long. So I thought that was honestly pretty amazing. I feel like it was like a testament to his strength and him wanting to live, his desire to keep living. And I remember reading somewhere that he said he wanted to live to be able to vote for Kamala Harris. And I think that was pretty amazing. Even though she didn't win this time around, he lived to do something that he said he wanted to do, which was vote for her. And I was reading this article about how he was married to his wife 77 years and how that really helped him to keep living. And it warmed my heart because I share with you guys how this year has been a pretty rough year for me. I've been married for 26 years to my best friend. We met in high school. And I'm quite sure Jimmy Carter's marriage wasn't perfect and life wasn't perfect. But I'm quite sure that the love that he and his wife had for each other and them being best friends is really what helped to keep them in that relationship. And I'm sure they didn't deal with any infidelity and things like that. And that's why when I hear people say dumb stuff like, oh, all men cheat. No, all men don't cheat. That might be your experience, and it might be the experience of a lot of people that you know, but that does not mean every single male on the planet Earth is a cheater or unfaithful. But that's neither here nor there. I just thought that was pretty interesting. So rest in peace to Jimmy Carter. He was before my time. So, of course, I learned about him in history, what little they taught of history when I was in school back in the day. But, that's neither here nor there. He may not have been everyone's favorite president, but you cannot take away from the fact that he was a good, decent man. And that's a lot more than we can say about a whole lot of other people who've been president. But I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole right now. What I wanted to just talk about real quick is the fact that it's the day before New Year's Eve. I don't know if any of you go to New Year's Eve services at churches across the nation. I haven't been to a New Year's Eve service in a very long time, and I don't see that happening anytime soon in the future. I have watched some online. I'm not going to lie about that. But, you know, and forgive me, my hand is getting tired and I'm holding this camera, holding this phone to record this. Um, but I feel like a lot of people, they go to these New Year's Eve services, especially in depending on what type of church you go to, because I do believe that there's only a certain type of church that really even holds the New Year's Eve services, depending on the denomination or non-denomination. I don't think there's certain types of denominations that never do that. So I believe there's a specific type that holds these, and I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole either. But I feel like a lot of these church services where they have these New Year's Eve watch services, especially in maybe the past 20 some odd years, there's always this word from the Lord, this word from God. And God said next year is going to be whatever year, whatever. And sometimes I will say not even sometimes, a lot of times I feel like it's just not even real. Don't get caught up in the hype if you are going to go to one of these services, that's what I'm going to say. I'm not here to discourage anybody from doing that if that's what you choose to do. Don't get caught up in these predictions or these prophecies from these so-called prophets in these churches, because a lot of them, they're not hearing from God at all. And there's a saying, it's not a scripture, but there's a saying, that if you want to make my God laugh, tell him your plans. But it doesn't mean that you don't make plans. So, what I'm going to say is, as you prepare to go into this new year, make your plans, try your best to do the best you can with what you have, and to empower yourself, to make yourself better, educate yourself more. If your credit is bad, work on making it better. Um, if your money isn't right, try to work on getting it to a place where it's going to be better so that you can do the things that you desire. If your health isn't right, do the things that you can to try to turn some things around with your health. And if your family situation ain't right, do the best you can to try to get those relationships in a place where you're comfortable. I'm not here to say that you need to reconcile with people that you're in a family with just because you're family, because I have people that are in my family that I have no desire to try to reconcile with because they've already shown me who they are. And at the age of 50 something years old, you're not going to change. So why am I going to be foolish to try to make something right with you? You like, that's who you are, and I accept it, and I'm moving on with my life and doing the best that I can to not allow the things that they have done to me to hinder me and stop me, you know. But I do feel that a lot of these, especially these online so-called prophets, oh my God, I'm not going to name any names over here, but there are so many of them. And they claim that they just have God on speed dial, or God has them on speed dial, and God is always telling them something. And it's always the word of the Lord. And this is going to be this year. And it's just like a lot of foolishness. Don't fall into those traps, because a lot of those people, they're nothing more than influencers that had the gift of gab. They may have had a gift in other areas of influence as well, so they've been able to really grow a big large following and audience, and they may truly even love God. I'm not even here to say that they don't believe in God or they don't really even like God or whatever, but a lot of the things that these people say when it comes to stuff that they're prophesying or predicting, it's just not real. Um, you may create a vision board, and everything on that vision board that you created may not have come to pass, and you get discouraged from doing that again. Don't stop envisioning what you desire. Do the best you can to try to make things work in your life for the best. I I see that as we grow older, the time, it just seems like it flies. So we're about to go into a new year, but before you know it, we're going to be in the second quarter of the new year. I mean, I guarantee it, because that's just usually the way it is. And I'm not saying that because we're getting older, we're speeding closer to the end of our lives, but I just believe that it's because as adults, we have real responsibilities that we didn't have as children. So when we were children and when we were in elementary and middle and maybe even high school, it just seemed like we couldn't wait to get to the age of 18 or 21. And we were always, trying to make it as if we were older. I'm 17 and a half. No one ever says I'm 59 and a half. Like, nobody when they're older is trying to race towards being an older age. But, when we're children, because we didn't have those responsibilities that we now have as adults, it really did seem like the days would drag and it would take forever for it to get to summer break when we were in school. And then when we were on summer break, it seemed like summer break flew by and it's already time to go back to school. But no, when we're older, we have responsibilities that we didn't have when we were children. So it just always seems like there's never enough time. And sometimes there isn't enough time for everything that we have on our plate. And I know I can say that for myself. I had admittedly been feeling a little bit of depression because with the trauma that I had gone through this year with my husband being sick, and me not really being able to get a whole lot of the things accomplished that I had planned or I had scheduled, especially for just who I am, it made me feel down a bit. But I've been learning through therapy and prayer and meditating and all of those things that it the world isn't going to end because I didn't get all of the things done that I desired to get done, because I have real life stuff going on and I don't make any apologies for that. Yes, would I have desired to get a lot of the things done that I wanted to? Absolutely. But in due time, they will be accomplished. So, with all those things being said, if you are planning to go to a New Year's Eve service or watch night service, like some churches call it, for New Year's Eve tomorrow night, just be wary of the things that are, that are being said, that it's like, oh, God said this year this is going to happen and that's going to happen. Or especially if you go to a church where some person calls you out and it's that they have a word from the Lord for you. Just be careful of that, because a lot of those times when that happens, it's a trap to get you to give higher than you probably were anticipating giving, if you were going to even give at all. Um, a lot of those things are money grabs. They don't seem like it, especially if you're all wrapped up in the emotions of it all, or or they touch on something that's a sensitive area for you and you've been going through a whole lot. A lot of them can sense that a lot of people that are in these places are going through stuff. So that's not really a prophecy to say the Lord said that you've been going through this and you've been going through that. It's like, yes, I have, because yeah, you have. I have too. But try not to get wrapped up in the emotions of that stuff, because a lot of it is just bull jive. And it's sad that a lot of those people play on the emotions of people. But marketing in itself is emotional for the most part. Marketing is to play on the emotions of people, to touch something within them, to touch something within them, to get them to pull out their wallets, their debit, credit card, cash, whatever, to buy what they're selling. And a lot of it in these churches, it's really no different. And it's sad to say that, but it is. A lot of these places don't really have a whole lot to do with like the true and living God. It is a business and they need money to operate. And if they can play off of the fears of you, or or I will say, if they can play off of the fears of you and or play off of the desires of you, then they can get you to pull money that you really don't have to give to them, because a lot of times people will give money that they have set aside to pay their bills. And I will shamefully but honestly admit, many years ago, it's been a very long time, I had been in that place where I've been there. I'm not going to blame myself, because I was taken advantage of, and it's not cool and it's not right. And so as we get ready to go into a new year, I already know that there are going to be a lot of people that are going to be duped in those spaces and in those places, because every single year, and every single year is supposed to be their year. It's going to be a great year. And for a lot of people, it hasn't been. And they can't go and file a complaint with someone or with God to say, this person said that in the new year, I was going to be able to buy my new home. And it's been 3 years and I still haven't been able to do that yet. But that happens for a lot of people. They hear these so-called promises and prophecies that this year is going to be their year. And either the same old, or things may have gotten worse. I just believe that you have seasons in life where you go through, and seasons in life where you gain. And that's just the truth. So try your best to be prepared in those times. And there's going to be times in your life where you're going to go through things where there's nothing you can do, or nothing that you could have done that would have prepared you for what you've gone through. What I went through this year, and even the prior year, just this year, was just like on a level 1000 that I really did not expect. When it came to my husband's physical and mental health, I had no preparation for that. But God definitely kept me and got me through it. And I'm not even here to say that I'm 1000% out of the woods yet. I'm constantly watching as well as praying and doing my best to try to stay guarded so that in the event if something pops back up, I'm ready to get to the place or to the people so that we can get the health help that is needed. But there're just some things you're going to go through in life where it's not going to prepare you for what you aren't anticipating, and no amount of some person in a pulpit saying this or that or the other about 2025 is going to really get you ready for that. So this may have been a little bit of a ramble, but it is a vlog, and I just wanted to share my thoughts as we prepare to go into New Year's Eve tomorrow. So anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments, how you're preparing for your New Year's Eve and, what you're going to be doing. So I appreciate you stopping by. If you're new to the channel, thank you so much for being here, subscribing, liking. And if you are returning, welcome back. And so, guys, I am Elizabeth, the Minister of Beauty, sharing the Bible. It's business inspiration, beauty, life, and enjoyment. It is New Year's Eve, December the 30th day of Vlogmas. So until the next time, I hope and pray you all have an amazingly blessed and beautiful day.